Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Between My Therapist and I. Today, we are welcoming my guest, Lucy Garcia, who is the founder and CEO of OILE, O-I-L-E, Organization International for Latinos in the Exterior. And she is located here in Southwest Florida. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the programs that she offers and some of the contributions that her organization has made to the well-being of our community. My name is Yella Lee Smith, and I'm the founder of the Traveling Therapist LLC. And this is Between My Therapist and I. So let's get started. Okay, Lucy. First of all, I'm sorry because we have to do this all over again because we actually did a whole entire episode already, but it didn't save. So here we go one more time, just a tad more hungry this time. So I think we're going to be really efficient when we have this conversation.
We can go for a margarita later.
Okay, so tell us about OILE and its programs. What is it that, first and foremost, you guys are completely what is grassroots, 100% nonprofit. As a matter of fact, you hardly ever get paid. Everyone that works in the organization has volunteers. Most don't get paid. So tell us what it is that you guys do.
Well, we were founded in 2014, December the 14th, and the reason being was because of the needs that they were spotted in the community. A lot of services or lack of services for the Latino, so that's what actually made me start doing this. I came from a background of social work, so I have done from mental health, from substance abuse, abused children, and working in these fields, I realized that some of those services were only in English. And little I kind of like started learning, navigating the system, I found out that a lot of Latinos that have been victims of different type of crimes, they didn't know that there were some resources for them. So That's how it started.
And so OILE is a little bit different from your average nonprofit because you guys don't just focus on handing out food or handing out clothes or, you guys focus on building the person, helping the person learn a craft, helping the person become independent, self-sufficient, helping them deal with their trauma, with their mental health, and not just that, also helping them become a productive member of society and a legal member of society. Correct. So that's one thing that definitely I think sets OILE apart from a lot of other organizations, is that you see kind of the bigger picture.
That is correct. I always call it that we are kind of the non-traditional. No, we don't provide food. We don't give clothes. And the reason being, like I was just telling you, there's many organizations in the community that many of these Lee County residents, they already know which organization gives what days, and so there's no need for that. I mean, they're not starving, so they're very self-sufficient. And the reason that we're doing is because helping the client to get the traumas out of them, like liberating or getting rid of the traumas, but at the same time building a skill, and that skill is sewing. So sewing, it's actually the name of the therapeutic program is Healing Stitches.
Right.
Healing Stitches, a stitch at a time. We actually started learning how to make little flowers before we actually start with the sewing machines.
Right.
And after we got our first grants, that's how I started buying those sewing machines, and then that's how they start kind of like using them.
I remember the tables full of sewing machines, and you just like precious sewing machines, handing them to the members of the groups.
Yes.
And that was awesome because a lot of people have learned to make, one of the ways that you can actually support the members of Oilist programs are by purchasing the products that they make. So they come here, they learn how to sew, and they sew purses, they sew clothing, they sew bears, teddy bears, dolls, children's clothing, aprons, all kinds of different things. And whatever they make and whatever they're able to sell actually goes back to them. So Oila doesn't keep any of the profit.
No.
They teach the individual the craft, and then that person can keep the profit for themselves.
Yes. And that is actually the purpose of it. They not only get rid of the traumas, they learn a skill, and they become economically self-sufficient. Regardless of what they're going through in their lives, if they do have domestic violence, we will never tell them leave or do this. No, we just work with the client for whatever they need, and that's what we support. If the victim decides or chooses to stay in the relationship, hey, that is her choice. But she's getting empowered how to deal with issues, how to talk or implement healthy communication, not only just with the husband, also with the children. And unfortunately, the domestic violence that the children witness, that's how they grow up. And many times they just kind of like continue with the cycle of domestic violence. So we try to teach in this case, the mom, the women, to learn how to become independent, to empower them, to just to be themselves. Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that also sets you guys apart is that you're going straight to the root of the problem. So a lot of Latino countries, I know Cuba is one of them, there are so many generational just unhealthy relationship patterns, just whether it's abuse, whether it's verbal abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse. Children are not seen as equal members of a household. Women are not always seen as equal members of a household. And one of the things that you and I, being therapists and being social workers, one of the main things that we have witnessed, I think, in domestic violence situations is you start by breaking down the person. So you start by destroying that person's self-confidence and that person's will to live and desire to progress and grow. That's the first thing that an abuser does. And most of the time, people in domestic violence, the abuser was abused themselves. They were victims at one point in time when they were children, from their own fathers or grandparents or uncles or step-parents, or they were physically or sexually violated themselves. So a lot of them were they either witnessed abuse or they were themselves victims of abuse. And so they know the cycle of first you break down the confidence of the person, and then you alienate the person, and then you remove the ability for that person to be independent, whether it's by forcing them to leave their jobs or forcing them to leave their cars, their belongings, things like that. So you give back those resources, that confidence, and those resources that helps the person make the final decision to either leave the relationship or set some boundaries and say, listen, we need to change the way our relationship is, and you need help.
Yes.
We need to do this.
Helping them rebuild what has been destroyed is not easy. It's like when a hurricane comes. If the house is already built and the hurricane comes and start making a little hole here, a little hole there, you don't know which hole you're going to be fixing first. When you're building the house, you build it from the ground up. But when you start making little holes here and there, you're thinking, okay, which hole am I going to fix first? So that's how we start rebuilding the self-esteem of these women. And unfortunately, there's another thing, like many of these women, they cannot report abuse
Right.
because they are afraid to be deported, to be separated from their children. And many times they just end up staying over there until or they get killed or the worst things happen.
Right.
And so we try to just kind of provide the education. With that is actually our mission, provide the education to the Latino community and to become more self-sufficient and providing them the right resources. Many of these women that become victims, they not even know that they might be able to qualify for some type of visas, U visas or T visas, depending what the crime was. And they don't have to be afraid. They need to know that somebody needs to speak up and somebody's going to hear them out.
Yeah.
And that, the kids are watching. And if you're teaching that to your kids, you're going to be having the same thing all over again. So that's the
you're
cycle.
Breaking cycles here. And another thing too that I like is that you actually do, speaking of cycles, but you go full circle, because so you provide the education, you provide the assistance, you provide the resources, but not just that, you take it a step further and you help them get in contact with legal aid, you help them get in contact with an immigration lawyer, you help them fill out forms, you help them afterwards to learn English, you help the children in the programs who are enrolled in school, you help those children learn how to read and write through the after-school programs. You help when the time comes for them to apply for citizenship, you help the women actually study for the citizenship, you help them how to learn their rights as citizens. So you go like the whole entire process from start to finish, you're with them.
And that is correct. And that is the best, piece of the puzzle, that when you see them that they're so self-sufficient, that now they're working and they're not even afraid of their perpetrator. And again, it's not that the perpetrator will want to do that. We all have choices. Even though if they were abused at some point in time in their lives, they're growing up and they have choices. We all have choices.
Right.
But at this time, we are empowering women to become them, to again retake control of their lives and build their self-esteem, and for their kids and for them. So if the person is not going to be part of their family, at least they can make a better life in this country.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what we're here to make, a better life in this country. I had the opportunity and I embrace it, and every single step of the way, finally we're here.
And that's, being that I'm also an immigrant myself, I came with my mom when I was 9, my dad came when I was 6, and I find that the opportunity that you're giving to these women and the children is invaluable, because I know what it meant for me to get an education in this country, and the amount of opportunities that I have found in this country where I've been blessed to be able to grow as a person, but also as a business owner. I've been able to open my clinics. I've been able, we have over 500 patients that we serve in the traveling therapist. In the last 4 years that we've been open, it's been over 2,000 patients that we've worked with. So I know, I can see where these women and these children can end up in. They can end up being something really, really remarkable and really productive in our community and make their community better. So and by you giving them that first step and helping them, it makes a huge difference.
Well, you came when you were 9. I came to this country because my parents brought me when I was 15. I didn't go to a formal education, but little by little I started looking for the ESL classes and tried to gain my own ESL language. I was and I still ESL student and continue learning. But the most beautiful part, Jalili, even when I came to this country, I was undocumented. We have never, never applied for a free box of food. Never received nothing free from the system because we have always been working. And that's one of the things that I can tell you is women that have been in this country, they don't make huge lines just getting stuff for free. They're working.
Yeah.
And then I can see it, in daily basis. And as soon as I was able to, I was mentioning when Ronald Reagan actually gave the immigration, comprehensive immigration. I mean, that's when I became legal resident. And every step of the way, I've been embracing every opportunity because that's why we're here. And we know as Latinas what it takes for us to really get what we are getting. And I mean, when I opened this agency, I just did it because I saw the need within the Latino. And I didn't know it was going to be this intense, especially like getting or obtaining funds.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was going to be so difficult. I'm not a grant writer. I need a grant writer. So that I do need.
If there's a grant writer listening,
yes,
and you would like to volunteer for Oile, please,
yes,
I will give you guys all the information you need. But
you can volunteer if you're a grant writer, but I know that later on you can be
and you can write a grant that will pay you in the future.
And I can tell you that the grant writers are way better well paid than even social workers.
Yeah, so like how you can make your own salary.
Yes.
Just write the right grant and you're set.
Yes. I mean at this time of my life, I can tell you one thing. I have. And I'm very thankful to God into this country that I've been able to do all the things that I enjoy life. My motto is, one day at a time. If I had to die tomorrow, I'll be the happiest camper because I probably end up doing it way more than what I thought.
I think if you were to die tomorrow and you made it to the pearly gates, you would probably be like, okay, listen, I saw. Looks good. Please direct me to the next social services location, and I will go ahead and start my work here. I think you wouldn't stop even if you're all the way on the other side.
Probably not. And I can tell you the interns that we do have. I say, hey, chop, get the show together because I'll be honest with you. I'm looking for the best person in the future to rely on, so they have that vision. To continue helping the community. Because in reality, I mean, Jalili and I we met at the hospice. And I can tell you again,
we've known each other for a long time.
When you die, you not even think the crap that you have in you. So you think nothing.
No.
Nothing whatsoever. So if you can donate, if you can come and help us, if you're a sewyer, a seamstress, you can come and help us. I mean, this is I consider this place more like a classroom inviting setting, because anytime you come over here you're here I'm telling you, I come over here, it's like, what are we going to do today?
And of course, just so you guys know, Oile is it's not only for people who are undocumented. Even if you are a legal resident or a legal citizen of the United States, a naturalized citizen or a born citizen, any of those statuses, it doesn't matter. As long as what you're looking for is a community of women and children who are just looking to be empowered, just looking to grow, to be self-sufficient, this is a great place to do that. So you don't have to just be in illegal immigrant status. It doesn't matter. If you're just looking for a great place to learn a new hobby, a new craft, a new, just a way to become a little bit more self-sufficient, this is a great place to do that.
And it is, we also have the 55 and older. It is a Mending Heart group.
Mending Heart.
And the reason was after the COVID, the majority of the older women, they start feeling like so isolated from the families. They couldn't understand that they were very sensitive, medically speaking. So if they will get contagious with COVID, I mean, anything can happen. But other than that, I mean, you're more than welcome to come to volunteer if you know how to sew and you're patient. So hey, come on over. You can help us in that piece of the puzzle.
And I find that there's two things that you can fulfill here that would help most people in their mental health journey. Number one is if you come with a spirit of volunteering, there is nothing that helps a person overcome a mental health struggle like serving others. Trust me, if you're depressed, go serve someone else who's struggling more than you are. If you are anxious, go help somebody else that is going through a difficult time. And you will forget your troubles. You will find yourself being useful, being needed, being appreciated. So that's number one, is serving. Is amazing for mental health. And the second is learning how to be part of a community. That is another huge part of mental wellness, because most people who are struggling with mental illness feel isolated, they feel alone, they feel forgotten, they feel like they're not understood. A lot of them tend to just kind of like go home and hide under their covers and, don't socialize, don't interact. And that is the worst thing that you can possibly do. That is the worst thing. So if you're looking for a place to help yourself with your mental wellness, and you're looking for a great place for community and for relationship, this is OILE is the place where you are going to find that.
And it doesn't matter if you don't speak Spanish. Let me tell you, the women are very, they can,
they accommodate.
Yes, they accommodate. They're very welcoming. They're very friendly. So you will not even feel like you're like.
And we have the volunteers speak English, so you're not gonna miss it.
No. If you probably have the patience, we do have the after school program. Like today, we just have a new volunteer just sitting and reading with the kids, helping them to succeed in school. Yeah. I was sharing with Lily that the teachers are requesting for the parents to help with the reading, but they're not even have books at home. So in here, these ladies, they go and check out some books from the library, their teachers, they sit with them, they have the patience, and like Lily said, instead of sitting at home doing nothing, come on out.
Come, read with the kids, help the kids to learn. Not only that, but like there's a Spanish class. Why don't you learn a language so you can help and get help? Yes. So you have both.
Yes, we are technically a social service agency that deals with any kind of problems, any type of problems. We do not guarantee that we're going to fix everything, but we will listen to you. We will walk with you. Sometimes when they finish talking, and we're thinking, well, so what do you need? No, I feel better.
I just needed
to talk. I said, okay, so I can talk. I can listen to you, and that's it. There's a lot of women that they suffered trauma when they were little, and they were never addressed with those traumas. And sometimes, just by talking about what happened to them back then, those years when they were little, and you're thinking like, and they were never able to reach out and seek any help. And that's something they just need to talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
And Healing Stitches, I can tell you the purpose of Healing Stitches. So we started learning making little flowers, a stitch at a time. And then when we were able to get the sewing machines with the Sontas grants, we started getting machines, and many women actually, they already kept their sewing machines.
Yeah.
And now they're very self-sufficient. The other day, my son actually was asking me, Mom, how many women you have done? And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I never kept like a track of it, because my mother is like, okay, get up, go help. And then when I have to go and document, like, oops, what did I do? And many times I said, Debbie, what did we do? What did I do today? So they're in my back, continuously. But I was reviewing all the grants, every single grant that the Sontas gave me. And I can tell you that it is around, probably 1,800 almost 1,900 women that we've been working from
Oh, my
2015
Yeah.
till now. And now, I mean, I haven't counted the numbers for these years because now we have to count the numbers for United Way.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, and it's like I sit and think about it, and I not even can get my mind, wrap around. I'm thinking like, well, how did we do it? And then he said, well, how many people for for visas? How many? I said, I don't know. So and mental health is so common in this country. I mean, depression. You don't want to go and socialize with anybody, and sometimes you not even know that by not trying to get up out of bed, by not even taking a shower, the person is depressed.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people do not know that.
Yeah.
So they don't have that, incentive or that stamina to get up and move. And those are some of the things that we have in here. We just talk, we just chat, this is a non-traditional, I mean, this is a crazy place to be, but it is a fun
There's always food and there's always something happening. So we actually had to do this after hours because if we do it during open, like when it's open, it never stops.
No.
Then we couldn't do it because the noise would be too much. So I'm going to go ahead and just name the programs that are available here at OILE. And then I'm going to kind of blur out the address and phone number and where you can donate and where you can contact Lucy and Debbie, and whether that is because you want to participate in one of the programs or whether it's because you want to donate. So the first thing is I want to talk about the programs. The programs that we have are, of course, Healing Stitches / counseling. Then we have sewing classes, we have parenting skills classes, budgeting, women's health, nutrition, healthy communication, and healthy relationships classes. So this is not just for women. Healthy relationships classes also include the husband, so you can, or the partner, so you can come together. Then we have mending heart groups, which is for 55 and older. And Lucy was telling me that she also sprinkled in some younger participants, and now the grandmas have new grandchildren. They've adopted new grandchildren. And if you know anything about the Latino community, or if you're a Latino listening to this, then you know that that's a thing. Abuela postiza, abuelo postizo,
La tía postiza.
La tía postiza.
And if the younger are crying, the olders actually say like, don't worry, mijita, everything is gonna be okay because look at us, now we made it. So you're gonna. So
the family, you don't really need to be directly related. Some way, somehow, we're all related in the end. It all just like passes down. So then we have sewing classes in Bonita, and that's Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We have community outreach is Access Application and Reunite program. We have the VITA program, which teaches members of the community, whether you're retired, whether you are an empty nester, whether you're just bored and you just want to learn how to do taxes. The IRS here at OILE's location sends someone to teach you how to do taxes, and then you can help people in the community do their taxes for free so that they can benefit as well from being able to get their taxes submitted on time. Then we have citizenship sessions where they teach the individuals who are applying for citizenship about their rights, about their citizenship test, and helps them pass the test. We also provide social services, Spanish classes, wellness referral, children's summer program. So if you and your kids find yourselves over the summer needing a place to drop off the kids where they can learn crafts, where they can do activities, this is a great place to do that. Healing compassion fatigue sessions and individual counseling is also provided. So a little bit for everybody.
And if there's actually women or a population that they need to renew their food stamps, I forgot to tell you that we also have the Goodwill employee coming over here.
Okay.
So if they need to renew those, like Medicaid or food stamps, they can actually do it in here also. And
Awesome.
there's free of charge, no charge.
Okay. So OILE, of course, is always looking for volunteers, looking for people with great talent, whether it's for networking, whether it's for advertising, whether it's IT, marketing, planning events, things like that.
Grant
writers. If we haven't said it enough, we're saying it again. And they are located on 1621 North Tamiami Trail, unit number 4, and that's North Fort Myers. And the phone number where you can call to donate is 239-878-8430. You can also donate at Lucy Garcia, so Lucy Garcia, Garcia, at OILE, OILE.org. And I will have those up on the description and on the video. And you can also donate at OILE.org. And trust and believe that every penny that you contribute to OILE and to its programs is going directly back into the community, and it's going into the hands of people that really and truly care. I know that it's there is such a thing as that compassion fatigue, where people are exhausted because they continuously see the disappointment of years of volunteering and donating to organizations that then turn out to be not everything that they were meant to be. And you find out that the CEO makes $500,000 a year. You find out
this is
that
not the case.
you find out that they have a private jet. You find out all these different things. So I know that we all have been tested, and we've all been put through a lot, and our kindness has been taken advantage of. I can tell you, I would stick my life, I would stick my business on it, that Lucy's the real deal, OILE is the real deal. So if you want to truly provide support to an organization that is legitimately a good community organization, this is the place to do it. Anything else that you would like to share?
Well,
with anyone
if you
watching?
donate, I mean, just remember we do have the tax exempt letter.
Yeah.
We're legit, like you say, and you, I mean, anybody and everybody can come and obtain any services. If you're like we were talking, you're tired, you don't know where to go, you look but you don't see anything, you hear but you're not even listening to anything, you can come over. I mean, just sit and chat, or we have coffee, we have cookies, we have food. I mean, anything.
There's always
we will
something.
make you feel better. But you're not even need, if you don't have any money, that's okay. You still can come and you can be part, or you can receive our services. There's no cost at anything. We will continue working as long as we continue receiving donations to continue operating. I mean, if one day there's none, I mean, hey, you know what? I didn't lose anything, but I guess I have gained a lot. But the most important thing is that if you want to come and be part of it, or you have a talent, you have a skill, you want to donate, you wanted your time, anything, but just get out of the house, go for a walk. If you want to walk over here, I mean, you probably might end up walking a mile.
Might not want to do that, but like walk to your car and then come over.
Yeah, if you don't live too far.
If you don't live too far, maybe a bicycle.
Yes. Another thing that actually I need to share. I know that there's a lot of people that lost a lot of furniture or items in the after the hurricane, which is becoming a year. We are a United Way house, and for that reason, if you need a bed, you need any piece of furniture, we can actually go into the United Way site and see what's available, and we can order them for them. The only thing that they need to have is a car to go and pick up any item. Sometimes they have TVs, tables, dining rooms, they have chairs. They have a lot of donated items. I mean, that are sitting over there at the warehouse. So if you know anyone that needs anything, again, you don't need the money. You don't need to come and bring anything. But if you need anything, I mean, just give us a call, and we will see. Tell us what you need. We will review the site of the United Way, and then we will tell you if they do have it, if they don't, what is it that they have. Or, I mean, the only thing that you need to do is bring your cart to pick up all the furniture items. But that's a program that just by being also United Way House is very good for the community, just to
Amazing.
get them
Absolutely.
accessible too. But you can come at any time. We're here 5 days a week, from 8:30 to 4:30. Not 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Anytime, just give me a call and we can set it up.
Okay.
From that moment. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you for having this organization. Thank you for everything that you devote to it. I have seen you from the very, very beginning to where you are now, and I'm so incredibly proud of you. And I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished and everything that you give back to the community. And I feel personally extremely blessed to have you in my life and to call you a friend. And I hope that you can all also be, come and meet Lucy and join Oile and just enjoy everything that it has to offer.
Just come and visit.
Just come and visit. And this is it for us today at the Traveling Therapist, Between My Therapist and I. And as always, feel free to follow, subscribe, all the usual stuff. And I will be seeing you in the next episode. Have a wonderful night.
Good night.
This is